जयपुर via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपको अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೈ
Hyderabad Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন कृपया ध्यान दियो
It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and we are feeling good. It's going to be a super Sunday because we have yet another double header. Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz Live. My name is Saiyami Kher. First up, Gujarat takes on KKR, and after that, Punjab takes on Hyderabad. And I'm here with my favorite opening partner, Lisa Sthalekar. Thank you for joining in. And of course, Lisa, if KKR is playing, we have to have Joy Bhattacharjya in the house. Hello, Joy.
Hi, wonderful to be here.
Can we be assured that we'll have at least 42 stories in the pre-match show, some inside scoop on KKR from you?
I have more than 42 stories, but my stories are now getting a bit old. I need to find some more new stories now to put on. No, there's so much to talk about. And it is a team which has so much drama associated with it. So it's natural. It's not difficult to get stories about KKR and interesting ones as that.
You know, right now I almost had a brain freeze moment of who's playing today because there's just so much happening all the time. I've been away on a film duty for 3 days, so I want to do a quick recap on what's happened so far. Well, a lot has happened so far, but probably highlight moments for me have been, of course, the opening match, Ruturaj Gaikwad's 92, but still Shubman came to the party. Then there's that, well, I don't want to remember it, but the MI game against RCB when Virat demolished us, Faf demolished us. For me, that was a highlight. And then, of course, last night for me, I'm a huge Ajinkya Rahane fan. He's a very dear friend. To come back and see what he's done, I was delighted. I was screaming and shouting. I've lost my voice. But Lisa, probably for you, your favorite moment so far?
I think Shardul Thakur, I think when you look at where KKR and the situation that they were in, 89 for 5, and himself and Rinku Singh, I think it was like in the 12th over as well, and you're thinking, oh, are they actually going to get anywhere where they could potentially defend it? Then Shardul is the one that goes ballistic, basically. Look at the strike rate, 234, 9 fours, 3 sixes. They put on 103 runs between the two of them. And all of a sudden they get themselves in a wonderful position. And you kind of got the sense when you watched the game that everyone in the dugout, they were very glum. They weren't. And so was Joy. He was a bit glum. And then all of a sudden that partnership, everyone just kind of lifts their chest a little bit more. And then on the flip side, he actually picked up the wicket of Bracewell as well, just when the partnership was building. So he had a huge impact in the game. And that's a moment that stands out for me in the first week.
You know, Joy, actually, there's a lot pinned on him. And after the game the other day, he went and said that, I don't know where this came from because it's like my subconscious took over. So he doesn't have the answer to what he's done, but well, he's Lord Shardul Thakur.
Yeah, he's Lord Shardul, and Kolkata is a place where many years back there was Ramakrishna Thakur who sort of used to channel at some point and say things that he didn't do because he's possessed by the spirit, as it were. So Shardul is a lord. He can be possessed, and he's in Kolkata after all. So I think it's completely normal. It was an incredible innings because in IPL terms, it was a counter-attacking innings, and it just put the game on its head. And after that, the way they finished it off, I mean, you look at that point, 93 for 5 was where they started. I mean, it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, Shardul really surprises us. But besides Shardul, if there's another surprise package for you so far, who's it going to be?
So 2-3 players who've really stood out for me. One was Kyle Mayers, because we didn't even expect him to get a start. But the international schedule means that Quinton de Kock is not going to get off the plane for a few days. Kyle Mayers gets a couple of games, and look how well he's played. He's played absolutely brilliantly. Good player, hits it hard up front, and you in the kind of conditions that you go to, say a pitch like a Mumbai, a Wankhede or a Kolkata, he definitely get to bowl as well. And I think Kyle Mayers is a very important aspect, adds a very different dimension to them. I also liked Prabhsimran, the innings that he played, absolutely fantastic innings. He's been around for 3-4 years, got more money in the auction the last time around, and people were thinking, who's this guy? Is he good enough? And this year, I think he's definitely proved, at least with the bat in hand, he's more than capable.
Yeah, he's going to be in action today because he's had a great domestic season. So what do you think we can expect from him today? Because he plays Hyderabad later in the day today.
Yeah, probably exactly the same. You don't want to change a formula that works so well for you. And I think when you're clear in your mind, you're able to execute. And then having the confidence of already putting some runs on the board and having an impact and contributing to your team's success, that puts you in a very happy state of mind. And we know that cricket can change on its head pretty quickly, but I think he'll play the aggressive way. Shikhar, on the other hand, I guess we'll have to wait and see what he wants to do.
Sorry, you know, talking about a happy space that you're talking about, there's something that a lot of people who live in Mumbai will feel, and I have been feeling that as well. I was supposed to go to the stadium yesterday, but I didn't, thankfully. It's been a huge disappointment, Mumbai's campaign so far. There was nothing to cheer about besides watching Master Sachin Tendulkar in the stadium. There was nothing else to cheer about. So for you all, the two disappointments you all have had so far in the season.
If I have to look at disappointments, at this point in time, I expected a lot of Sunrisers Hyderabad as a team. You know, there's such a good team. There's so much talent brimming out there, and they just haven't got it. There was one game, the first game, they were blown out. And then the second game, they were outplayed. They just did not understand the conditions. So, disappointment, one is, these are young kids. I don't want to blame them that much. I think Brian Lara and the coaching staff have to step up. There is a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of ability out there. They've got to make better use of it.
For me, Delhi. And from a batting perspective, you look at the scores that they've posted so far, 143, 162 and 142. And when you've got the calibre of Shaw, Warner, Marsh, Sarfaraz Khan, who scores...
And Warner's been playing well.
Yeah.
So in spite of that, it's just not worked out.
And Riley Russo, Rovman Powell, I mean, the list goes on and on. You think, right, these guys are good T20 players. They're high class. They're not getting enough out of their Indian domestic players. That's certainly showing. Too much pressure, too much reliance on David Warner, and he's playing within himself because they're losing wickets around him. So, yeah, that's been the disappointing thing. And you know, when you expect someone like a Ricky Ponting to be at the helm, maybe because of the Aussie in me, you expect them to be successful, and they have not been able to start the tournament well. They're none from three.
You know, talking about disappointments, there's another disappointing news from the centre that Hardik's not feeling too well today. So Rashid has come out for the toss and Gujarat won the toss. They have decided to bat first. Big blow. I mean, Hardik not coming out. Everyone at home was wanting to see a Hardik.
Yeah, it's more of a blow for the spectators, I think, and for all of us who love the game and think he's a fantastic cricketer. But I think they will... This early in the season, they don't want to take any chances. It's going to be a long season. They've won 2 matches in a row. They're bringing in a Vijay Shankar, I think, who's a fair amount like-for-like replacement. Remember, Hardik has not done much with the ball this time. I mean, normally he's been very good with the ball. Last year, he was great with the ball as well. This year, not so much with the ball. So I think they have enough bowling in any case, Hardik anyway. If they need to get a couple of overs out, there are enough people to get it out. Vijay Shankar slots in, obviously not the batsman or the player Hardik is at this point in time in their careers. But they'd rather take this and not risk him going down.
Yeah.
IPL is a very long season and games get one after the other after a while. A player goes down for 3-4 matches, it's dangerous. You're better off resting him for one match, allowing him to come back fit for the next. I think that's what they're doing.
But you know, Lisa, there's someone who's been formidable, has been the run mill machine, Shubman Gill, because he's somebody who I am a huge fan of Shubman because I feel, you know, he's so beautiful. He's that purest cricketer who comes and plays, well, not test cricket and T20 cricket, but beautiful shots that he plays that it's just so wonderful to watch him. You know, he started at KKR. It's going to be a happy, sweet feeling, bittersweet feeling for him because, you know, he made a statement saying that if ever I get a chance, I'd always want to continue playing for KKR. So how is it going to be for him coming into?
Yeah, I think there'll probably be mixed emotions. I mean, cricket is a professional game and people kind of move around quite regularly. But for a young player, when he comes in and he gets his first opportunity with Kolkata and you all of a sudden see him there and that's where he gets his fame, there's always a soft spot that you will have for that franchise. Though he's come to Gujarat and he's done very well as well, and winning the title certainly helps. But I agree with you, there's something so classical and classy about him. You know, he's got the nice haircut, he's nice prim and proper. You could take him home to your parents and they'll
Well done, Lisa. Well done.
and they'll be very happy with your selection, right? There's something so likeable about him, and he is easy on the eye from a cricket sense.
Yeah, but you know, Joy, Mr. Venki Mysore, your very dear friend, had made a statement that when we do retentions, we don't really focus on names and emotions because we can't keep that in mind. That's when they let Shubman go. You think that's pinching him a little bit now?
Of course it will. And you know, we just think about it. That 221, that run, that 5-match run from Venkatesh Iyer is what changed the balance. And Venkatesh Iyer used to bowl.
Yes.
Now Venkatesh doesn't bowl anymore. He's batting the same position as Shubman would be right now.
Yes.
And Shubman is at this point in time far more successful. And let's face it, his pedigree international today, he's got international centuries in all 3 formats. And you know, we were just thinking about it, Lisa and me, in the dressing room. And look at those numbers. I mean, Gill's 35, 135.2. There is no comparison at this point in time. Since he's left, there is no comparison between the two of them. And that's unfortunate, Nair, because he never asked for this pressure. He never asked to be retained. But that's how cricket is. You get played for a lot of money, and a lot of players say, I didn't want that money. The truth is they didn't. But that burden sits on their heads. That's both the plus and the minus that goes with the IPL. But, you know, we were talking about something, saying, what if Gill had been retained by Kolkata and they let go of Iyer? It would have been a very different team. And then you go from retention to retention. So the other one we were thinking was, what if Hardik had been retained?
True.
And we were thinking who would go out, because they had Surya Kumar Yadav, Rohit Sharma, because they had to get 3 Indians, Surya Kumar Yadav, Rohit Sharma and Jasprit Bumrah. And actually when we are looking at it, perhaps it's Rohit who shouldn't have been retained. Because Rohit's last big season in the IPL, I think, to 498 runs in 2016. He hasn't had a plus 400 season since then. And so that's the what ifs are fascinating. And of course, the first what if starts with the first IPL.
But Joy, you can have this like an entire show on
Yeah, only shown
what ifs. Because like even yesterday, like Ajinkya played, no one expected it. He was with KKR. What if? You know, what if? You never know.
Yeah. And the what ifs are crazy. Biggest what if. First choice for under 19 players in the first auction 2008. Delhi gets the choice. They have so many players. There's some Virat Kohli. Who's this guy?
Who's this guy? Get rid of him, yeah.
Next guy, RCB. 16 years on, he's still playing for RCB.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole fun of the IPL, I think. But just a little more on Venkatesh Iyer, because he's also spoken, you would know also, because I guess you spend a lot of time with him. He's spoken about how he looks at an IPL game as just an IPL game, not as a stepping stone towards coming into the Indian team. So he says, I play a game because I want to focus just on this game. You think the pressure is a lot on him now, considering that Gill comparison is happening?
Oh, look, there'll always be comparisons, whether you like it or not. There will always be outside noise. Some players deal with it better than others. But one thing I've always said, well, when I was playing, but also now when I coach or talk to other players, is focus on winning the game of cricket, whatever team you're in. Everything else will take care of itself. Because at the end of the day, if you're part of successful teams and you're contributing to ensure that success happens, then future selections, future honours is certainly in your path. But if you're too busy thinking forward and not focusing on the current moment and being present, then you're going to miss that opportunity. So, just always be part of successful teams. So I like how he's like, all I need to do is focus on this. He's absolutely right. But there will always be a part of you in somewhere in your mind. And the problem is with cricket, there's too much downtime, actually.
Yeah.
There's only like 10 seconds of actual play, and then there's probably another 45, close to a minute, where the bowler walks back. And in that time, so many thoughts go on. But those that stay in the moment are the most successful.
You know, for me, I really relate to what you're saying, Lisa, because even in films, it's very much like that. There's so much downtime. And I won't lie, you keep thinking of what if this does, what if it doesn't. So it requires some immense maturity from someone like a Venkatesh Iyer, who of course we all know is very educated, loves his academics. But to have that kind of maturity at this age to say that no, one ball at a time, one game at a time.
Yeah, I think he's telling himself, and he's doing as good a job of it as possible. And you know, we just say, I love the analogy, because it's like the high catch, slip catch syndrome, which is that, what do you prefer? What does a player prefer? A player prefers a slip catch. He doesn't need to think. It's reflex. Hand goes there, it sticks. High catch, if I drop it, I'm going to get this thing, my team will lose, the captain will drop me, I'll go there, then I'll be in penury, the press will hate me, I'm dead for the rest of my life. All this is going through in that 30 seconds, you know. So you're exactly right. And Unfortunately, like football and all, they're all games of muscle memory, just playing through the flow. Cricket is all here because you just have those 10 seconds of action. Then the rest of it is thinking about what you did or what you're going to do or what the consequences are,
Yes.
which is actually was. But I think, see, Venkatesh Iyer is I feel having the education that he has is actually useful because the only thing education gives you, and that's, I don't mean that by degrees or anything, but just reading stuff and reading other stuff, is it gives you perspective. And I think he has a certain amount of perspective. It's not that he can do it all the time, but he has perspective saying, this is what I need to be doing. There's no point thinking about all this. This is what I need to focus on. And in that way, he's blessed.
You know, that's what I love about Cricbuzz is we always get so much philosophy along with so many other things when we are on Cricbuzz Live. Let's have a look at the playing 11. Gujarat first because it's that surprise of Hardik not being well today. So there is Vijay Shankar who's in place of Hardik and Abhinav Manohar comes in.
Yeah, but this is actually their batting team. So that's why they played it. Abhinav Manohar will probably bat higher up and I think he'll be replaced by a bowler when they go out. So in the impact substitutions, you'll probably see a bowler. But if you see this team also bats, those 6 out there bat, Manohar bats at 7, Rashid at 8. This is a
good.
very decent batting side. Alzari can swing the bat.
Yep.
So it's a very decent batting side. This is a good side. Even without Hardik Pandey, it's a fairly powerful side.
We'll quickly have a look at Kolkata's playing 11 because we know that they have quite a lethal bowling department. Here, no surprises there. Jagadishan comes in.
Yeah, all the surprises are obviously obvious. Mandeep for Jagdishan is something we discussed yesterday in great detail because Lockie finally is fit. So Lockie for Tim Saudi, definitely Lockie is the bigger, they think is the better bowler. And Suyash Sharma in the bowling 11 definitely because they think 12 overs of spin from their spinners is what got them last time the match. This could be a very interesting, it will be a different surface, it will be an afternoon match. So I'll be very interested in seeing how they get going. But bowlers the quality of Sunil Narine, Varun Chakravarti, Suyash is a young kid. They will go well on any pitch. It's not the largest of grounds, given the size of the stadium. It's not the largest of grounds, but I think it'll be interesting to see how they go.
But you know, there's a spin matchup that I'm really excited for is Rashid versus Sunil. Lisa, just top quality spinners because there's number 2 and number 3 highest wicket takers in T20 cricket. What can we expect from them today?
Class from both of them. Certainly, Rashid will fire in the ball, bowl it really quick, not move away from the stumps. That's what's been so successful for him. Whereas Sunil Narine has the ability to go up and down probably a lot greater with his speeds. And because he's not a wrist spinner, hasn't got necessarily all of the tricks, but he's clever in the pace that he bowls. So, 2 guys that go an economy just over 6, which is so impressive because there's that much footage of them, there's that much understanding of them that they still are so successful in the shortest format.
Joy, have you spent time with Sunil Narine?
Oh,
because he's been there for
I have
with
spent
KKR.
lots of time.
So
I was in the auction table when we bought him. I've seen him through 2 championships and he celebrated. Sunil Narine is the John Abraham of cricket. The expression never changes.
Ouch.
So he looks exactly the same. He's got a wicket. He's been hit for a 6. He's got a wicket. It does not matter. His expression does not change. He's totally inscrutable. And that's fantastic because when you're under real pressure, you toss the ball to him. He is absolutely, totally inscrutable. And it's a great story of how he came. We were. This is 2011, and we were playing for the Champions League, and we were playing a practice match in versus TNT. And this is one guy with this strange haircut who's playing, and Gautam plays him for a while, and then says, if he's in the auction, we have to pick him. Because Gautam is probably one of the best players of spin in the world, Gautam Gambhir. I said, I couldn't pick him.
Wow.
And that's how. So we went after him. Mumbai also went after him. Fortunately, we outbid them. And then the story of Sunil Narine. He's a different cricketer, totally different cricketer, because he's so unbothered by what is happening around him.
But Joy, if I'm not wrong, he spoke about this maybe in 2017 when he was banned, and he said that he owes a lot to Venki Mysore and the KKR family. Were you there through him during that time?
I just left just after the first ban had happened, and KKR really did take good care of him because what they did was immediately all his expenses for a correctional facility, who to work with, specialists to work with, all that KKR did, they gave all their support. And you know, this is very important for athletes in these times, because you're literally what you've earned your living off is being threatened. Okay, and I think KKR backed him to the hilt at that point.
I think they hired his one-on-one coach as well. He was always out. I can't remember his name. I can see his face. But I used to see him every time after that. Every IPL, he'd always be around. He'd be working individually. And I actually thought at one stage we may start to go down the path of like a tennis star where you have your own team that you actually travel with. You know, people that you know and trust and know your game, know your body, whether it be from a physio or an S&C point of view. Because that was probably the first time I saw he had his own individual staff working with him all the time on his action.
But Lisa, if I'm going to ask you just, you know, again as a rookie, something which separates a Rashid from Sunil Narayan, because you know, you spoke about Rashid, how his pace is much quicker, but probably Sunil Narayan has more variation. Can I say?
Well, I guess he's cleverer in the sense that he's not a big turner of the ball, and he doesn't necessarily have the carom ball, but he's now hiding the ball behind his back and the speeds that he has. Whereas Rashid Khan as a leg spinner has the normal leg spinner, a toppy and a wrong-un. He doesn't really have a slider, does he? He just goes out the front. He just goes. No one really has the warning slider, do they? I mean, it was a tough skill to have, but he has the one that just goes a little bit quicker out the front. So leg spinners tend to have more variation because every place that they kind of have their wrist position is a slight change in the. Whereas an offie doesn't really have a lot, but he's a bit of a finger spinner in that sense. So you'll have finger spinners that are a little bit more mystery because they can bowl that one, then they can flick out the carom ball. I mean, people are literally just getting tennis balls and mucking around at home and watching some of these players do what they do, and then bringing it to professional cricket, which is exciting.
Yeah, I guess we'll never be able to pick between the two, but we've got a list of the impact players in, because there's always a lot of confusion with the impact players, but we've got a list in. Gujarat has won the toss. They are batting first, and these are their list of impact players.
That's interesting.
Interesting. 2 internationals for Gujarat.
Yeah, and they don't. I'm just wondering who they're. Could we have a look at the Gujarat team again?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of who the players
Did we
are. That means
miss
they're
a
playing,
4?
Yeah,
they must have 3.
They must have 3 out.
And also, I mean, it's quite obvious, but Venkatesh Iyer was not in the playing 11 for Kolkata.
Who?
Venkatesh Iyer is in the impact sub
He will be
because
in
it's
impact,
the bowling,
yeah,
bowling first.
He's bowling first, but yeah, you're right. Miller, Rashid, so they have the option of getting a bowler in. So they have the option of getting the bowler in. So definitely, Rashid is Joshua Little. They'll choose between Joshua Little and the other choices they have.
Yeah.
They have fast bowling choices out there. Could we have a look at them again? And the Kolkata one as well.
But you know, speaking of Joshua Little, he's somebody that Nehra ji is really supported, and they've backed him. He's not really had. There's Matthew Wade, Joshua Little. You think it will be Joshua Little who will come in?
I'd say so.
100%, because you're going to go for a bowler.
Yes.
You what's the point of getting a keeper in when you have Riddhiman Shah? So Jayant Yadav, if the pitch turns a bit, Jayant Yadav is a very long shot as a choice. Mohit Sharma, again, if the pitch is really slow, but logically, if you have a left-arm fast bowler, international who does it both ways. And in this side, it's probably Venkatesh Iyer, unless they go back to Mandeep Singh. Unlikely there. And again, David Wiese is only there in case there's a concussion substitute or there's some sort of an injury which somebody comes in. That's the only place he is. He won't come in as a replacement.
But just going on about Joshua Little, I like the fact that they have stuck with him. Like his first over in the first game, it went for a lot. They made sure that he bowled his 4. Then we were wondering, will they actually select him for the second game? And they've certainly kept with him. Like his numbers have been good from an international cricket point of view. I actually spoke to Simon Kadich over in the 100. I think Manchester Originals had picked him up, and Simon Kadich was coaching there. And I said, I really like this guy, because I'm the list manager for the Sixers. So I was like, how do we get well, we got enough left-arm fast bowlers. And he said, actually, Lisa, I'm literally looking at statistics and for Ireland, what he was able to do and who he was playing against. And his economy rate was excellent. He bowls with some good wheels. He's a young guy. Brought him into the 100, was still successful. So everywhere he's gone, he's been very successful and he's been backed. And so I think that's the other reason why they've stuck with him a little bit more, because over a period of time, it doesn't matter which level you throw him in, he's managed to find some success.
You know, we'll see what Joshua Little does, because he'll come in later, because Gujarat's batting first. And when we talk about Gujarat's batting, there's somebody else we had the Shubman chat and we spoke about how beautiful he is, but there's someone else who's really impressed, and that's Sai Sudarshan. It aches and pains when I see Kane Williamson on those crutches, but I guess someone's loss is someone's
absolutely.
gain.
I mean, his Vijay Hazare was outstanding for Tamil Nadu. The way he's been batting this year, he's got his chances, and that's the point. Today in the domestic circuit, the players are fearless. They don't have that awe of international cricket or the IPL that they used to before. And I think one of the reasons, surprisingly, is the 2 years of COVID that you had, and no home grounds. And so the pressure of home grounds, lots of crowds, that was not there. So for 2 years, you had them, there was no, they didn't know the pressure. There might have been 200 million people watching at home, but they didn't feel the pressure in them. They didn't feel the pressure. And I think that's really opened up for a lot of the guys. He's opened their cricket up and said, okay, this is just another game. And I think that is a change. So they come in today, the Sai Sudarshan of the world, Abhinav Manohar, Tilak Verma, they're playing fearless cricket. They're not scared of anyone. Rajat Patidar did it last year. And I think that is the big difference that the IPL has. In the last 4-5 years, the kind of domestic talent who's coming in and scoring 350, 400 runs is amazing.
You know, actually, Lisa, I read somewhere that Ashwin wanted to kind of fast track him into the Ranji Trophy team after watching him at the TNPL. So when you see someone like a Ash pick talent, you know this guy is here to stay.
Yeah, you look at that, the TNPL in 21, he scored 358 at 71, strike rate of 143. I can understand why with those type of numbers you want to fast track him. And he kind of got some opportunities last year, didn't he? He missed out the first few games, then came in, got a 30-odd, then missed out again, and then I think his high score was 65. But I like the fact that he's been able to back it up again. And you talk about these players that have been around the group now. They've soaked up some time with an IPL franchise, and then when you get that first opportunity in a new IPL tournament, you have to take it, because there's such a big list of players that are all kind of waiting in the wings for their opportunity. So he looks good. He's an attacking player. There's not much to him. I mean, I wish he'd eat a little bit more, but he still packs a bit of a punch.
But, you know, he also worked a lot on his fitness during COVID, because he was somebody who was a little laid back, and then he had the best trainers at home. His mother was a volleyball player, is a volleyball player, father's an athlete. So best trainers at home.
Best trainers at home, and now I think those people are doing that. I mean, look at Varun Chakravarti this year for Kolkata. I mean, he's looking at least dropped 7-8 kgs. He's looking fitter, because I think that's the point. I mean, nobody today is saying that, fitness is, you need to be a particular body shape, but you need to be fit. You need to be able to do enough on the ground, and I think that's Varun Chakravarti. I feel it's made a difference to his bowling as well.
Yeah, just on that fitness, and we were talking, I think, yesterday about the 2K time trial and the relevance of all of that. It's really a baseline for you. You want to get better. But for young boys and girls out there that are going, okay, fitness, I took up cricket because I don't like running. So, I'm happy to chase a ball, but I don't want to actually do running laps or sprints or anything like that. Being fitter means that you're not as tired at the back end of a game or an innings. So you can actually make some really good decisions. Now, that's the difference. That's why coaches want you to get fitter, is that so on the last ball of a T20 game in the afternoon when it's stinking hot, that you actually can dive for the ball, bring it back in, save a boundary, or you're strong enough, powerful enough and clear in mind to be able to execute a shot. That's the reason why, not 2K time trial, not the beep or yo-yo test.
I will tell you this fantastic story. India's first individual gold medalist, a chap called Abhinav Bindra, who won, for shooting, won a gold medal in 2008. So they asked him that, why did you start shooting? And I have interviewed him quite a few times. And he said, it's because I was fat and lazy. And my parents said, you have to take a sport. So he says, shooting is the only sport.
Stand still, bang.
Mind you, the funny part about it is, after that, now he's super fit. So I said, now, why are you super fit now? He says, because to be fit, if you've got to do well and to shoot towards the end, if I'm not fit enough and strong enough, I can't do it. So if I'm unfit, what I thought I could be unfit and still shoot, I can't anymore. Even in shooting, you require that fitness to have the focus.
It's the heart rate, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about keeping your heart rate really low. And
He's spoken about this in his book as well, the heart rate that Lisa
Yeah.
talks about. But talking about fitness, there's someone who was very, very surprised by the Neeraj Chopra look-alike, but also the Paul Adams action. I looked at his Instagram. A lot of people must have stalked him on his Instagram. He's ripped. He's put some videos of him and he's completely ripped. But you think spinners, Suyash, of course, a surprise, but then Sunil Narine and Varun with what they did in the last game, they're going to be a handful for Gujarat.
Early for Suyash, but look at this. He's a good Delhi kid. Of course, he's going to be ripped and cool and enjoy himself. Come on, he's going to show you the abs and going to tell you. And he's going to take this story to town for a long time. But no, honest, he has a talent. Look at those numbers. I mean, one match, early to say 3 for 30, but he came back. I mean, he bowled a couple of rank bad balls, which you don't normally bowl. But the ability to come back, and they'll take that. If he bowls 2 to 3 wicket-taking balls, and again, there must be something in his action. Look, I was trying to watch it. I couldn't detect anything, but there's something there that the batsmen obviously are not picking him all the time. I mean, so that's the point, that if you're in any way your action allows you to conceal you from being picked, then you have a career in the IPL in some way or the other. And I think it's early days for this guy. I don't want to put pressure on him, but wow, what a journey it is. Sitting out there, not played first class cricket in your
and
life.
Suddenly coming and
Shah Rukh
in front
Khan
of
is
Shah Rukh
hugging
Khan.
you and you're the top of the world.
But these are the other two mystery spinners because they're filled with mystery because there's Varun, there's Sunil, and there is just a quick word on the other two and what they will do today probably.
which two you want me to talk about?
Varun
Yeah.
and Sunil Narine.
Yeah. I mean, two class players, and probably a lot was spoken about last year about not having a great season for Kolkata, and they've always relied heavily on their spinners to do so. And so, there was talks even last year about Varun and his fitness and things like that. Even he shouldn't be playing for India. There's all those kind of backdoors conversations going on. But now that they've been able to kind of get themselves right, especially Varun, Sunil Narine, he kind of goes through a wave, doesn't he, where he peaks really well, he has a good tournament, then he kind of dips a little bit. I think it's all been based around, when he did get called and how that plays on his mind. But he seems to be in a really good, happy, healthy place. So those two bowlers are a key for Kolkata's success.
We've had lots of chatter in the pre-match show, but we need to quickly go to something which is very important because we've got Mr. Joy Bhattacharya with us. So we have to do the Joy Factor question of the day.
Easy, quick, and I'm expecting about 50 answers in the next 5 minutes. In international men's cricket, if Krug of Fandwick is at one extreme, which Pakistani cricket is at the other? Okay, quick, fast.
We are stumped, but we will wait for the answers to come in because
quick and fast. No.
I think Lisa had some clue. We'll chat about this later. We'll discuss this in
He
the
said no,
post-show.
so that was pretty quick. Done.
But again, our quick prediction games because Lisa will bang
yes.
on in that one game I did with her.
Who's batting again?
Gujarat.
Gujarat bats first.
Okay. I'm going to go 187.
I think Gujarat has to have a bad day someday or the other. They're going too well. 161.
I'm going to play safe and go in the middle. So 187, 161. I'm going to go with 174. Play safe and be in the middle. I think that's all we have time for right now because we've chatted a lot. But don't forget to join us at the 10 over point at the Cricbuzz Combox. See you all soon.
Jaipur via Kota.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction,
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೈ
Hyderabad Superfast Express Kolkata Station Netaji Bhavan. Cricbuzz